Welcome, everybody. Episode 9 of the Straight Talk Commerce podcast. Great to be back here, fellas. We have our third wheel back. Ian, welcome. Sorry we missed you. I know we're keeping the content consistent, so if one of us has to pop out, the other two got their backs. So, Ian, how's your week?
Good. Happy it's Friday. Happy it's 4 o'clock. Almost done with the day. How about you guys? Wayne, how was Cabo?
Incredible. Had a very good time in Cabo. Learned something interesting, you guys. There is a war going on YouTube. As a matter of fact, all social media right now. Trad wives, traditional wives, the content that they create, and those people, and it's generally women. Women are brutal to one another. And I would love to hear what people think in the comments, if they notice this as well. I'm in a house with all women, but the traditional wife content is just getting absolutely excoriated. And not that I think that they really even care, but it's just interesting to see there's look, if content isn't for you, switch somewhere else.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch. You don't have to watch it. And the fact that you click on the content guarantees you're going to get more of it. So if you see something in your comment, or if you see something in your recommended and you click on it, guess what? You're going to get more. So I thought that was very interesting. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, I have a short story about that. I was supporting one of the vet's channels. She was she lost, I think, her left leg or right leg in combat. So I was watching her videos on Instagram to support her channel. And then I came back after a week, and everything that Instagram was throwing at me, including Facebook, were people with a missing limb.
Wow.
And so my wife just so happened to walk by, and she was like, why is your Instagram people with missing limbs? What are you into?
Right.
But it's the algorithm, right? It's just
Yeah.
the algorithm looking at what you were searching. It doesn't know your intent. It doesn't know right or wrong. It just knows what you picked, and it gives you more of what you decided to watch previously. So
Ian, I got to tell you this, because that brings up a very funny story. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this girl was talking about she's a comedian. She was talking about the fact that she broke up with a guy because she went to the computer and found out that he watched spanking videos. And she was like, hey, if you're into that or whatever, and he reacted like he had no idea what she was talking about. Come to find out, her best friend would stay with her periodically. And she would get on his computer and look up these videos because that's what she was into. And the two of them broke off their relationship because he was tired of his girlfriend asking him about stuff that he was not even anywhere near, remotely interested in, which I found to be hysterical. And I immediately started thinking of who I could do that to.
David.
It's a good thing I can't get my hand on David Layton's computer.
The things you would find. All right. So for today, I'm actually pretty excited to dive into this because we're going to go really back to the basics and define terms for people. So we're going to talk about e-commerce, obviously, the different types, the different components. And I can't think of two people better to explain this than you guys. So if you guys are okay, we'll definitely jump right in. So Wayne, let's go back to the absolute basics. What is e-commerce for you?
So I'm going to read the definition that I came up
Sure.
with for e-commerce or electronic commerce. Okay. And it refers to the buying and selling of goods and services over the internet. So anytime you buy a good or service over the internet, that is considered e-commerce or electronic commerce. Now, it encompasses various online business transactions to include retail shopping. So if you buy clothes, that's e-commerce. Banking. So if you do any kind of investments or anytime you do banking, that's also electronic commerce. And then also if you do B&B or Airbnb or rent a car, again, subscribe to anything, all of those things would be considered e-commerce. That's a pretty general, any time you use the internet to purchase or transact with someone else, that's what we're talking about.
So everything from donating to Salvation Army to signing up for OnlyFans, and
Correct.
everything.
OnlyFans is definitely e-commerce.
A lot of it's e-commerce, right? You're seeing all these solutions on people's phones. When you're paying for where was that? Oh, I gotta send the sleep doctor his two match cars that I bought when I went to the car show in Santa Maria. And the guy whips out his phone, had a little device on it, put my credit card in, they charged me. Right? So it's really, kind of taking over. I was reminiscing with I don't know if you met Jan from Metal, Ian, but he's the one, and he's putting together and then he was like OG software industry, worked at Clipper in Nantucket, or that's one company. Clipper was the product. We knew so many old people. We were talking about early web. No one would put their credit card on the web. Remember? And who's going to ever do that? Meanwhile, they're handing their credit card to the guy that just got out of prison as their waiter. Right? So,
well, guess what? AT&T yesterday announced that their entire customer base has been stolen.
Yeah.
Everybody's information. Anyone dealing with AT&T as their internet service provider, telephone, anything having to do, any service that AT&T provides, your personal information is now in the hands of pirates.
Yep. Yeah.
That includes my information. I've been AT&T way before when it was Singular. Remember that? So
yeah.
Wow. So now one of the things that confuses a lot of people are the different types of e-commerce. We're going to go through this one by one. David, B2C, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's business to consumer, right? Smaller transactions, who you're, when you're kind of selling into crowds, different than B2B, where you'd be selling to companies. And both will use e-commerce to pay. I mean, I feel, one agency, I keep getting this email from American Express because WITI, WITI, is the same as a TV network in the Midwest. American Express has sent me a credit card from some agency saying, charge this $800 for paying your invoice. I called them. I said, hey, thank you. We'd certainly take the money, but that's for the TV station. I let her know the confusing. I've gotten 2 emails since, but go to show that's kind of how they have their accounts payable now. They're just kind of doing it through credit card. I'm the vendor. So, certainly these credit cards and things can be used for B2B as well. And then one thing we'll do is we'll have Nandika come on in a week or episode or two. We'll talk about crypto, digital currencies, and blockchain. And there's a new card that just came out. I think it's called the Black Card, I want to say. But you can load it up with Bitcoin and spend it as a Visa.
Wow.
Right. So anyway, so a lot of these people that are making money as Bitcoins rose will now be able to purchase on your site. It's important to take all of these types of things.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
So B2C, a good example would be Amazon,
Yep.
or if you're buying
MelodyClouds.
from Nike or online. Okay. And B2B is when a company is selling to another company, right? So example would be Alibaba or so for you, Wayne, you're B2C, right? MelodyClouds?
Not just, no, we do a lot of business to business. We have partners in, I want to say probably 13 or 14 different countries that are businesses that provide MelodyClouds to their employees.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
So, look, there are a lot of businesses where it's a hybrid type thing where, yes, we do a lot of business to consumer. That's where mainly our thrust for advertising goes. But occasionally we get approached and say, hey, look, we've got employees here that want us to add MelodyClouds to their benefits package. And we're happy to do that. We're very happy to do that. So, yeah.
And for you, David Whitty, you also have both, right? You have individuals who are signing up, and you also have businesses signing up on behalf of their employees.
Yeah, so I'll have companies, right, we provide other service to corporations, but I'll certainly, have issued a big invoice to the company, and occasionally they'll just call with a credit card because they want to get their services faster. So yeah, I think just, as we move more and more into this digital economy and how companies can manage stuff, and especially as you're growing and you're just starting your e-commerce business, like put that infrastructure in place early, because then, it's just easier to get the data to the accountants, to the bookkeeper, right? And it just makes such a big difference.
So Wayne, how about Craigslist and eBay? What do you call that type of e-commerce?
Well, now Craigslist is a very large corporation. I mean, they was sold, I think, to Yahoo but when it started, it was a guy named Craig, and he basically put up a bulletin board for people to exchange things. So it would be a little bit different. The platform Craigslist is a business to consumer, but you find, like with eBay, with Etsy, a lot of places where the overall large business is a business, but the individuals are the ones that are actually doing the transacting. That's consumer to consumer.
C to C.
OfferUp is a very good example of this, right? They provide, or Toro is a very good example of this, where you have a car and you put it on the Toro app so you can rent it to other consumers. So you have a private individual who is renting a vehicle to another private individual, and the app is what bridges that. That's business to consumer on both ends. And then you have two consumers that are actually doing the transacting.
Where would you
Airbnb,
put
same
Uber?
thing. Say that again.
Where would you put the Uber transportation? Would that a C to C?
Yeah, it's business to consumer, but you have two consumers, one on each end of that transaction, right? You've got a guy that is he's contracting out his car, he's driving for Uber, and someone that is needing a ride. Uber organizes the two of those to meet.
Right.
Well,
Now-
and that's an
Okay.
e-commerce business, right? Where they've built a software platform
Right.
to enable these different types of services via the phone, right? So that's a big part of it, right? And look, and I forgot what I saw when I was watching the other day. Oh, I was watching that Cloud Kitchen Shark Tank type event that the All In podcast was doing. I think I mentioned it last week, right? But they were saying, if restaurants don't accept DoorDash or Uber Eats, they're
Mhm.
losing out. They're losing out on billions of dollars in revenue that's coming in through those infrastructures, right? So, you want to set up your e-commerce, you want to take credit cards, you want to maybe add a Shopify link. But in our new worlds, there's many new ways to receive payments, infrastructure for payment. And I think it's actually a great time to maybe do a little pivot, because we did talk about just how companies can accept, and small businesses now, it's so easy to accept Bitcoin. I think, Nandika, we talked.
Hey, Nandika.
Hey guys, hi Ian. Wait, what's up?
But Nandika, we did talk about I think last night at the crypto roundtable, weren't we
Yeah,
talking about that Visa that can be loaded with crypto with Bitcoin?
yeah. So that is not a new concept. So there are many banks in Switzerland, for example. I mean, Switzerland is very, very crypto friendly, and they have this area called Zug, which is known as the Crypto Valley. A lot of the banks in this strip, everyone from all over the world, that's where they really park their cash. You want nobody to touch your cash? That's where they go. So they do crypto custody. What you can do is you can, a lot of these billionaires in the US, that's where they really custody their cryptos. This $1 billion, whatever the funds, or even private crypto owners. And you can borrow against it, and you can leverage that and use a Visa as a credit card.
I see.
So,
Okay, but back to where we are and our listeners that are primarily entrepreneurs, they're starting a small business.
yeah.
Right? It's the Straight Talk Commerce's goal to elevate all of our businesses, from small business to medium business to large business. How, like, you know, when, at what point does it make sense to be able to start accepting these types of currencies, or do you think people should be doing it from day one?
Today's competitive job market, simply applying for roles isn't enough. Let me show you a smarter approach. Hi, I'm David Leeton, with over 30 years of executive search expertise. Together, we'll unlock hidden opportunities. By leveraging the Witty Network and LinkedIn, we'll target companies on the rise, where your skills truly shine. Let's explore unadvertised roles in growth-focused companies, aligning your aspirations with thriving organizations. Together, we'll craft a personalized strategy to connect you with the career opportunities you deserve. Experience a tailored approach that goes beyond traditional job hunting, paving the way for your professional success. Join me on this journey to unlock your full potential and secure a fulfilling role in a company you admire. Let's navigate the job market together, leveraging my expertise to guide you towards your dream career path. It's time to step into a future where your professional journey is defined by purpose and passion. Let's make it happen. Discover a new way to approach job hunting, tailored to your unique strengths and ambitions. Your success story starts now. When you are ready, contact us at witty.com.
I think people should be doing it from day one. If you really understand what a pain in the ass merchant processing is to collect money, like especially, you know, there's two universes for e-commerce, right? There's card present and card not present. Card not present inherently, you know, so many times riskier than card present. Like it's different from having a POS unit at a Shell station or 7-Eleven than having
POS
your
is
online
piece
store.
of. I'm kidding.
What's that?
I said POS means piece of.
Yeah. Well, here
Point
it's point of
point
sale.
of. Okay,
Point
good.
of
Point of
sale.
sale system
Point of
with,
sale, not.
yeah, with the
got it.
payment gateway integrated into it. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the clarification. It's not a piece of shit. It can be, service can be. So I mean, in e-commerce that is card not present, we have this high merchant processing cost associated to fraud, and about 90% of fraud is friendly fraud.
What does friendly fraud mean?
Friendly fraud is when you see your credit card statement and you know you bought it, you know you paid for that subscription, you forgot to cancel it, and you call the bank and say, hey, I don't recognize this. What is this? I want my money back. And you can only do that on a credit card. You cannot do that on a debit card.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Well, debit card, you can, the process is really, really tricky, and it's painful. You have to, like, you know, do a ton of follow-up.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Nandika, we're talking about the different types of e-commerce. We covered B2C, business to consumer. We covered business to business,
Yeah.
consumer to consumer. And the last one is consumer to business. This is your Upworks. Is Fiverr one of this, Wayne? Would you consider Fiverr business to
It certainly
consumer to
can be.
business?
I mean, a lot of people are doing gig work, and that would definitely, if you're doing that for a company, here's what I would say. I agree with what Nandika's saying with a caveat. If you are a very small Etsy store, you need to have in your plan the reduction of friction to receiving money from your customer.
Absolutely.
Someone on that low a level, however, it would be probably smart to start accepting cash and then move on to credit cards and then move on to other forms of, and have that in your business plan. And here's the reason I say that. Because someone that is just starting out their business, you're going to pay more exorbitant fees because of the small amount of transactions that you are going to do. And so a lot more of your incoming cash is going to be, you need to guide your customers into paying you the way that benefits you the most. In other words, there is a cost of receiving payment using crypto. or using American Express or that's why a lot of companies, a lot of stores do not accept American Express. I noticed that in Cabo San Lucas. They would not take American Express. And the reason they wouldn't take American Express is because American Express for this small little business costs way too much for them. And so I would say, in my estimation, that people that are just starting out need to take that into consideration. Reduce the friction between your customer's wallet and your own, but do it in a smart way.
Well, look, I was saying when I asked the original question in Nandika, I wasn't saying don't take credit cards, just take credit cards and crypto, right? And
Yeah.
right. And I think that one other thing, sorry, Nandika,
No, all good. dude.
I've been seeing more and more lately, companies are like, and who was it? Maybe it was a printing company, but use credit card, add 3%.
Yeah.
Right? So that's becoming more of a norm, I think.
Well, go to a donut shop anywhere near me, and you will see that it is only, and I see by the looks on your faces, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's cash
Cash
only.
only.
Cash
Yeah.
only. You are not paying for a dozen donuts near me with an American Express card, a MasterCard, and you better forget it with crypto. They are not taking it that way. So yeah, look, it's all about, and then that reason is for avoidance of taxes. Everybody, I think, agrees for that. They definitely want to, avoid some taxes there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that tax benefit, because you don't necessarily have to. It's just kind of off the books, right? And you get a cash payment.
Government has no business taxing my donuts anyway, and I want to go on record and saying that.
Dollars for donuts. So Nandika, it's
Yeah.
great to have you, first of all. And
Thank you, bro.
you are actually our first guest on Straight Talk Commerce. So it's actually really good to see. Actually, the 4 combination actually looks pretty nice. I wasn't sure how it would look like. But now that you're here, Nandika, go ahead and talk to our viewers a little bit about you, what you do, your business, all of that, and we'll dive into, some lessons learned and things like that.
Yeah. A little background about me. I've been in the payments industry for about close to 10 years now. I've been working with startups, large corporations. I've been on the processors side of the game, and then processor side, acquiring bank, all people who are involved in collecting the money, and also on the receiving side, which is the merchant who set up these payment infrastructures. And I worked for a smaller merchants. Industry calls it a super merchant, when you have like one company or one holding company that owns many brands across many verticals. I've done that for about 10 years. And I'm also in crypto. I am an investor, and also I am a liquidity provider. A liquidity provider is when you function as a bank in decentralized finance. Yeah, and also I lead
Break that
Web3.
down for the user that's new to crypto. What does that mean?
A liquidity provider? Yeah.
So let's say I have Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I want to, if I want to sell it to Wayne, or if Wayne has a store I want to purchase from Wayne, is that are you the intermediary? How does that work?
No. So if you're sending Wayne Bitcoin, that's between the two of you. That's between your wallets on Bitcoin blockchain. Now, let's say Wayne only accepts Dogecoin, and you only have Bitcoin. Now, what do? Dogecoin is on a completely different blockchain, which means think of it as when you hear the word blockchain in crypto realm, think of it as a government. Like, let's say you're in Europe, or you're in UK, and Wayne is over here in the US, and you want to send, but you hold a GBP, which is not even euro, and you want to send to Wayne. And you banks provide this service for you, where they would do the swaps for your currency, and somehow get the money to Wayne's bank. Same in the crypto world. You need that exact same function, except the banks are not involved. So I function as the bank. There's a whole bunch of us that plays this game. So we see where
wow.
the volume is at, we see where the demand is at, we scope it out, and I go in and I provide liquidity to a pool. So in this case, I would find that pool that would have Bitcoin and Doge. I would buy both the currency, and I would calculate my percentages. I would go 50-50, 60-40, whatever the volume looks like, whatever it's
Wow.
beneficial for me, and I would provide liquidity into that pool. Now, this happens only in decentralized exchanges where you go in like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Oka, Radium, if it is Solana. There's a whole bunch of decentralized exchanges like this. You would go in, you would find your pool, and you would swap your token, and then you would get Doge and send it to Wayne.
So Wayne, if Wayne only uses Bitcoin in this case, I would give you Doge and you would convert that into Bitcoin and send it to Wayne. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Training with Radio Hall of Famer Gary Meyer on podcasting, public speaking, and radio announcing offers numerous benefits that can significantly enhance your skills and career prospects. Gary's extensive professional experience provides a wealth of knowledge and practical insights, particularly in engaging and retaining an audience. For podcasting, this includes mastering the tone of voice, pacing, and the strategic use of humor and emotion to create a strong personal connection with listeners. In public speaking, Gary emphasizes authenticity, clarity, and confidence, teaching techniques such as effective body language, eye contact, and vocal modulation to ensure your message resonates deeply. His insights into audience psychology help you read and respond to real-time reactions, making your speeches impactful and memorable. For radio announcing, Gary's training focuses on developing a rich, expressive vocal presence that conveys personality and warmth, essential for creating a vivid mental picture for listeners. This includes technical aspects like voice modulation, pitch control, and timing, along with practical advice on script preparation and handling live broadcasts. Gary's training includes real-world simulations, providing hands-on experience and personalized feedback to refine your skills. Additionally, networking opportunities with industry professionals and fellow trainees can open doors to new possibilities and collaborations. Gary's comprehensive programs cover content creation, audience analysis, narrative construction, and retention strategies, ensuring a thorough understanding of all aspects of these fields. He also emphasizes personal growth, building self-confidence and resilience, and offers insights into the business side, including monetization and branding strategies. Gary Meyer's training equips you with the tools, confidence, and connections needed to excel in podcasting, public speaking, and radio announcing. Contact Gary on LinkedIn today to get started.
Yes. If Wayne, I think we started with you having Bitcoin and Wayne only accepting Doge.
Right. So yeah, it'll be the reverse. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Wayne is accepting Bitcoin, then you can just straight send him Bitcoin. It's
Sure.
like you both live in the United States, or you'll both live in UK.
Got it.
Yeah. But because Wayne is over here on a different economy
Sure.
that uses different fiat currency, you have to find a way that it's applicable for his payment rails.
Well, what if Wayne wants to get paid in donuts? Do you do that too?
Well, that's you got to find a
Wayne
donut
definitely accepts donuts as
blockchain.
payment.
Maybe go to the
100%.
cops.
So, wow. That is super interesting, Nandika. How does
Yeah.
someone get into this? When you were a kid, I'm sure you didn't say, I want to be an astronaut, and you're like, I want to be in a blockchain exchange. How does one end up in this line of work?
Well, I think first of all, Dave, we should probably do a segment on this on Witty. This is great consensus, and I have a lot of people asking me the exact same question, even yesterday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, man, it's super easy. You just need to it's a psychological test more than anything. You need to break your own barriers and understand that you're just moving money on the internet, and it's fine and it's quick. And you need to empower yourself to protect your wallet stuff, your wallet address, private key, and the mnemonic phrase in case you lose your private key. That's all you need. That's really, I mean, every time I have this conversation, everybody like, I can't go onto crypto because in case if I lose my private key, I am going to lose my crypto. Well, and if with the bank, if I lose my password, I can call the bank and there's someone who will get on the phone with me. Well, stop
Right.
being lazy, get it together and keep records.
Hmm.
You
Like actually remember your password?
right. Well, here, I have like, you can just write it on a piece of paper and keep it in a safe place.
Got
And
it.
what you do is you load up some funds into a browser-based wallet, which is like MetaMask, Phantom, Kepler, or whatever, and you just move funds around. And this is great. This conversation is great because I have a mission. This is what I'm working through with my school, and like I'm looking forward to sort of educating people on. There is a path to wealth through crypto. You just have to
Hmm.
you just have to understand it's early. It's a very early opportunity, especially, if you see some of these pools, dude, they provide over 300% APY. You find me a CD. CD is exactly the same thing. You
All right,
give liquidity
Nandika,
to the bank.
so break down for our consumers what APY stands for.
Average percentage yield, or annual percentage yield. Sorry, annual percentage.
And what does that mean?
How much you would gain, or your interest for the 365-day hold. Or you put money.
What regulations is this governed by?
It is not governed by any regulations, as far as I
It's
know.
the government of Nandika.
Yeah.
Um,
No decentralized exchanges. Well, they're trying to bring, I hope with the next administration, whoever, we have some relief. But it's, this is democracy. Like, I should be allowed to do
Well,
whatever
the
the heck I
reason
want
that
to
I
do.
ask this
Yeah.
because a bug or a feature for some people is a bug for others. In other words, the lack of regulation on this is actually a bug to some people and a feature to other people. The fact that it's, not regulated and, there's very cloudy, very murky type laws toward, when you're talking about cryptocurrency.
Well, liquidity providing, or we call it LPs, liquidity pools, why does it need a regulation in the first place? I understand my risk. There's two aspects for this. There's market volatility where, like, like, when I was doing when we looked at our example, Doge and Bitcoin, I understand they move the price movement, the fluctuations, right? And I'm buying both the tokens so I can go into the pool. I understand that any point Doge can just be a flop. It's a meme token. They're very high volatility anytime. So my Doge side could go caca, it's done.
crashing down, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a very educated risk I'm taking. That is why high risk, high return. So if someone works at McDonald's, has $300 in their savings account that is making barely 3%.
Sure.
If you're lucky, you can put your money in a liquidity pool and make, like, I don't know, $10 just a day sitting around on average.
So
well, I think you
Nandika,
answered your own question by, why it needs to be regulated. And in your case, you're educated on that. And you probably would not need very much regulation on an out in the wild, just, free. But there are people out there that need heavy regulating. I think we would all agree about that. They need more regulating than they actually succumb to now, and the education part of it.
so Nandika, while we're talking about this, I'd love for you to dispel some of the myths around crypto and blockchain. And one of the biggest myth, I think it's a myth, so you tell me, is in crypto, this is where shady people can transact without being traced. I think with the blockchain, it's actually the opposite. You can't bring an eraser to your spreadsheet and cross things out. So talk to our viewers about this myth, if it is a myth, and how does the blockchain really work in this regard?
Dude, it's there's more crimes being committed with fiat. Just like the donut example, you're buying your donuts on
Some
cash.
donuts are a crime, but yeah. So go.
Yeah, the crime donuts, because you paid cash for it and nobody paid. There's no sales tax, and yeah. So the shop owner is not going to pay taxes on those. So that's a crime. And if I was a drug dealer, I would deal my drugs on cash, never on crypto, because it's on a public ledger. If it is, naturally in this case we are discussing a public blockchain, and it's forever. And there are advanced tools nowadays. They can trace. Yeah, you could have some anonymity with your wallet address for a very short period of time, but if you become a target, anyone can easily
Find your IP
decode that.
address. Is
Well,
that
the
what
Yeah.
amount of transaction is on a public ledger, not what the transaction was for.
Right, but
So in
what
other words, it wouldn't matter if there would be no way of, if let's say I bought $100,000 worth of donuts from Ian, you would see the exchange of $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. What you would not see is that they were for powdered sugar, raspberry filled donuts.
Yeah,
Music can influence your emotional and physical well-being. Solfeggio and binaural beats create frequencies that have been found to help heal your body and alter your mood. Guided meditation can center and calm your mind and soothe your soul. MelodyClouds brings you a massive collection of audiobooks and music files that includes 17,000 classic novels and hand-picked authors narrated by professional voice actors. Get access to exclusive content on children's stories and classic Aesop's fables. MelodyClouds is translated into over 140 languages and in more than 200 countries, and has a library that continues to expand monthly. Sign up now for a 60-day trial for just $2.99. Then, keep the music flowing for $5.99 a month. Our yearly membership is now $59.99 for a limited time. Join thousands of subscribers who have found the benefits of these frequencies.
Yeah,
And
you just follow the money, right?
Powdered
If
sugar.
it's cash, you can't go to an auto dealership and purchase a vehicle for cash. You could go in with a briefcase full of cash. They would only be able to take around $10,000 of that in cash. The rest of it would need to be a cashier's check, or would need to be through some other form of payment. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, not nefarious at all.
But now they can trace you, though. There's some level of traceability there. And they're going to go and ask, hey, Ian, how come your wallet got so much tokens? Wait, oh, you got it from this wallet? Oh, wait, let me go down the block. Let me go see in the ledger. Oh, wait, and this is freely available. You can go on Ethereum Explorer and a block explorer, and you can find out, okay, these are the wallets that's doing transaction with this wallet.
Well,
Like,
that's my point.
Yeah.
I could say that Ian and I flipped a coin and I lost a bet. I could say that I made him pancakes, gold flake pancakes, and there was any number of purchases perfectly legal in that transaction. The issue is, if I go to a car dealership and they want to know where those source of funds, where they came from. Same thing with purchasing a house or something. They're going to be able to go back and trace what that money was used for. Now, again, I own crypto. I have SHIB, I have Ethereum, I have Bitcoin. So this is not a hit. All I'm saying is let's, illuminate it for people.
Yeah, I mean, again, like it's the traces, and from there I mean, I'm not an investigator, so once you trace the two wallets, and once you find the wallet owner, once you have an IP tracking, now you're kind of on the hook. Now IRS will come and ask you questions. Now, and IRS works, it's different from proven until guilty. You're guilty first.
Until
and then you
they
prove
can prove you're
otherwise.
innocent, right?
Yeah, and then you prove yourself innocent.
So looking at current legislation, wasn't there recent legislation around Bitcoin in the US where they was it approved the exchange? There was something big that happened recently that further legitimizes Bitcoin, and hence the spike to, I think it went at 70,000, right? 69, somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah, so there was one big legislation that got vetoed by President Biden. But we had two wins, which was the Bitcoin ETF.
ETF, yeah.
Yeah, Ethereum ETF. Well, it's still going through its stages, and it's going to be live soon. And over the weekend, or maybe about now 5 days ago, there is this doctrine, about 70 years old doctrine, that's called Chevron deference, that got overturned. That's a big deal.
What does that mean?
So Chevron doctrine governed maybe I'm butchering this word, arbitrage capricious. What does that mean? So we have 3-letter regulatory bodies, right? Agencies. That's
AFC.
Yeah, like FBI, FTC, CFTC, SEC, so on. They have been functioning as regulators for the last about 60, 70 years, and which is giving them too much power. And especially Gary Gensler has been kind of on a mission. He's been accruing a lot of power into his agency and kind of a bully sort of a agenda towards crypto. A lot of like lawsuits, he just sent a Wells note to Consensus, Uniswap. So, I mean, a lot of activity in that realm coming from SEC and kind of with FTC also. So what gave them that power is this Chevron deference, which says that if the regulation that was passed has provide for some ambiguity, then these agencies can step in and create their own regulation. So they started functioning as regulators. They're like, hey, this is the rule that as experts, we are going to write this regulation that is passed through the regulatory agency, not from it's not coming from the Congress. So now that power has been reversed, which means they cannot make regulations anymore. It has to be contested in the court, and only the Congress can pass laws or regulations in this case.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, look,
please.
can I point out something? And Nandika, this is great. However, fiat, you're listing all these acronyms. It just comes like you're speaking the English language, which some of it, I don't know about the two of you, Wayne and Ian, but some of it I'm a little lost.
You were talking about a small car, right? When you said fiat?
Yeah.
So
no,
look,
fiat is...
Hold on. I know we don't have to go through everything. We are having the Web3 session on the 24th, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Right, because I think, look, the bottom line is many of these, if you're going direct to having your wallet and plugging into the web, you need to be handheld through some of this stuff. Can you accept your PayPal merchant Bitcoin now? I think you can, if not soon. So are you going to pay extra juice? Right? PayPal's going to charge you. So look, I think it is, as you grow and just providing the hand holding, I think. Right, Wayne? I mean, what do you think? I mean,
here's the thing. Yes, look, this conversation that we are having right now is going to appeal to a certain segment of our population and our listenership. The people that they already know what a fiat currency is. They already know some of the acronyms that we're talking about here. And then there are other people who are going to now go and want to know what we are talking about because it's an interesting conversation. They just aren't quite familiar with the vocabulary yet. And that's going to come over time. But here's a prediction that I will make with you. And this is, and I'll explain to you how I know this is going to happen after I say what I'm about to say.
This is our first prediction, so write it down.
Yeah, what is slowing crypto down right now from running absolutely a train on financial systems around the world is the same thing they're trying to avoid, and that's regulation. And the reason that I say that is because that's how we got money to begin with. We used to barter with eggs and chickens and cows for bigger purchases, right? We used to barter with dyes on clothing, and that was it was very hard to regulate and very hard to tax that as we did that, and we meaning people throughout our history, okay, historically. Same thing is happening right now. Cryptocurrency is currently the eggs and the butter and the services and the kind of stuff that very difficult to regulate. And so once those regulations start to kick in, and money will become electronic, that's really the piece of this that governments want. They want the ability and the option of keeping these things secure. They're more secure because each one of us would have the separate ledger that would all have to match up. And so that's the attractive thing about the blockchain. That's the attractive thing about cryptocurrency, is the fact that we all have to be in agreement. We saw what happened with AT&T, and once they overcome the security aspect, and by the way, Cabo San Lucas, most of the places that I went in accepted not just Bitcoin, but various cryptocurrencies. So they were doing exactly what Nandika is talking about. So this is definitely coming more and more and more. You will see this way more. The missing piece, the part where this is going to absolutely blow up, is the part that they have actively tried to avoid, and that is regulation. Everybody getting on the same sheet of music and accepting rules for one another.
Feeling isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
So
it's
let's
actually
stick with that.
Yeah. So the crypto community, we are like, I am certainly in it. Like this is, I'm a big part of, especially the European Parliament, like when they were writing the MiCA regulation, I was in school and some of my teachers were authors in it. We want regulation. Crypto community that's the ask. I stand with crypto is an ask. Regulate us. Give us some kind of a framework. Just don't bully us out of the norm. That is what the Chevron difference is so important for the crypto community, because it took away that power to the agency that could come and write the regulation on the fly. Now you cannot do that. Now it has to pass through the Congress. So we're going to see new startups. Like this is where, with crypto, the most important element, in my opinion, is startups. This is going to power a lot of startups that's going to come and challenge centralized banking systems. That's going to provide infrastructure for neobanks on open banking. So they're going to take away some of these monopolies, especially with structurally important banks, the big fours or the fives, they're going to take some of the market share away, the startups. So, and they have been sort of, this bullying techniques have been, these guys are avoiding regulation. No, they want regulation. They want some.
Well, my point, Nandika, my point is that's a new kind of revelation, because the way this began was, hey, we're doing this currency so governments aren't regulating every single purchase that we're doing, and we can do things off under the books. And that was the attractive part of crypto, why it exploded the first time so quickly.
And the fees, dude. And the fees.
And the fees, right, right. The wrong people are making money on this.
Yeah.
And so we would like the opportunity to now kind of reset things. Now, you're right. And this is my point. Right now, we are seeing people saying, okay, It's time we've regulated ourselves. We need to get on the same sheet of music, and that is going to be the rocket fuel that carries this where it's going to eventually go.
Yeah, and also the game theory element of this regulation part. There's a lot of game theory in crypto because I can see everything in a public ledger. Everyone's on their good behavior. Like scams, you quickly. I mean, there's so many tools that highlights. Okay, there's a very popular wallet called Jared from Subway. Okay, the crypto guys know this. I know this. When I see Jared from Subway in the ledger, I know. Okay, you know he's playing. They do this thing called MEV attacks, minor extractable value attacks. I'm not gonna, that's a whole different sort of a discussion what it is, but people know about this wallet. And when they see the wallet, they know that the price is manipulated by this. It's a bot, AI bot, essentially. That's really playing arbitrage game inside of blocks. So, when it's a blockchain, all the transactions are blocked into you build a chain vertically. So, there are like checks and balances that is coming from game theory where I am like, okay, I'm watching you. Because I'm watching you, you're gonna behave good. So
a very good point. You have, instead of this limited number of regulators that we have in the IRS or, in the FBI, whatever government, right? FDIC, there's a limited number of regulators that can spot these, frauds beforehand. Now with crypto, you have billions, literally billions of people that are out there and detecting frauds much quicker and much more accurately, as a matter of fact. So that is a very, very good point, and a one to make in the crypto basket for sure.
So Nandika, I want to double click on what you mentioned about businesses coming in that's allowed by crypto in this environment. Talk to our viewers about what businesses are you thinking about, and what does this enable that the current system does not?
I mean, just simple as payments, and like let's say you have a subscription business, right? And if you plug in a crypto wallet, and if people can pay in crypto, and you can, you're setting up this subscription, and you're coding up a smart contract that people can interact with. What does that mean? Essentially, the infrastructure is set up. You don't have to go to a billing engine to trigger payments. Okay, every month on this day, charge this person this amount. It's handled by the blockchain. It's coded up. It's one time and it's done. So that could essentially be, like it's streamlined. You don't need that middleman, doing things for you. And also, if you like, for example, Uber, like if you were an Uber driver, or if any of the viewers are an Uber driver, they will understand Uber has high take rates. We can manage, and all they're doing is really connecting the driver to the car and keeping a share of the fees. This can be completely eliminated, through a blockchain-based solution. And the risk, again, like there's no fraud, because you're not going to collect from a credit card that doesn't, or a debit card that doesn't have money in the bank. You're always going to know that there's money in this wallet when the transaction goes through. So a lot of these like inflationary middlemen is going to get removed. So a lot of startups are going to come and disrupt it. Like even with banking, right? Like now you can use a stable coin, USDC, and send money anywhere. Before, if you were to send money, you have to pay $25 per wire minimum.
Sure. Yeah.
And if you're paying someone in Thailand or in India for your software work or whatever, like you to send $100, you pay $25. That's 25% premium. Like, and someone's gonna have to take that cost, and it's usually passed down to the consumer, right? So right away, 25% discount to the consumer. So all of these take rates that these banks have is going to get disrupted. And with smart contracts, things are going to be extremely efficient. You can track everything on a blockchain now. I'm talking about, for example, supply chain. Like I used to be an analyst for a large software company, for example, QAD. And one of my jobs were making sure that billing was done correctly and who was buying what. This can be easily coded up into a smart contract and be, okay, if you use this much compute, we're going to send you, it's automatically built into that wallet. There's no wait time. There's no analyst going through numbers and finding out, oh, this server was this much. Like, that was a lot of manual work. And if it is, I don't know, Tom's shoes, you buy a shoe, automatically you collect the funds and the stuff is shipped. So things like that.
Well, this is really helpful, Nandika. And let's talk more offline. I'm working with one of the governments in Africa, putting their server farm, connecting it to their power plant. And I know that crypto requires a lot of energy, but this is a pretty efficient server farm. So it might be helpful on a government level, national level. So let's definitely talk more about that. But I really appreciate you hopping on. This is definitely a new segment that people haven't really looked into, and there's a lot of misconceptions, right? So I think that the darkness of ignorance can only be dispelled with the light of truth. So thanks for being that light of truth for us. And
You sound so heroic. That's the light of truth. That sounds so absolutely heroic. I mean, holy smokes, man.
Yeah, I should write novel.
Seriously, I got inspired there for a second. I'm sorry to bust your, oh wow.
No worries, no worries. Oh, I was getting hungry with donuts, so I had to distract myself. But no, we definitely love to have you back on, Nandika.
Yeah, of course, bro.
And let's talk about next time, for people who want to learn more, want to get started, want to dip their toes in the crypto water, how do you do that safely? And what are some of the community? This might be something that we can share today. What are some of the communities? Witty, David, we have
there's a link in the chat.
Right? There you go. We'll share
We will put all of the links to everything we're talking about. We always put the links to what we're talking about in
That's
our
why I'm pointing down, because I'm being recorded right now, pointing down at the chat because you put it there.
I will slap the features off your face.
Trying to improvise. Stay with me, fellas.
That's right.
Yeah, look, I mean, disclaimer, this is not investment advice. Do your homework, empower yourself to read up, understand that there's risk in every investment. It's there is returns on S&P, or there are faster ways to get there also. There's a way to beat S&P, but you take high risk, it's high risk, high return. The two sides of the equation, right?
Awesome. So, and we'll share those links, and David can point to it again.
Yeah.
And we'll bring you back. Bring you back, Nandika, to talk more about just truly the ABCs of doing this, so people can be curious and safe at the same time.
Of course, of course. I'm happy to be here, you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Nandika. We do have, by the way, till the end of the summer, and Wayne, I did put the commercial together. They may have played already, but
very good.
You buy a Witty membership over the summer, you get one for a client or a mentee or a mentor, somebody that inspires you. 35th anniversary, and you get to have Nandika speak very slowly about how we're going to put our wallets together, what all these acronyms mean.
Yeah.
Right. Plus the community. I mean, there's so much going on now, so it's great.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core.
Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with Whitey.com. Join the movement. Join Whitey.com. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
Yeah, it's a different conversation when you have the time to slowly open the book and go one by one. And I think I mean, I'll do my best job to, like, make things understand. Once you understand the concepts, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve with interfacing with blockchain or interacting with it, then things get easier. That's where I think, like, a lot of in my learning journey, that after I understood what I was doing with a wallet, I was like, okay, this is easy. This is not that difficult. So, and I think that's where the journey starts.
Yeah, and it'll get easier and easier, right?
Easier and easier. Yeah.
So what's in your wallet?
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nandika.
All
Always
right,
a
brother.
pleasure talking to you. We hope to
Thanks.
see you back here soon.
See you guys. Bye.
Thanks, brother. Okay.
That
That was
clicking
pretty cool.
you heard when he came into the room, that clicking that you heard was everyone turning on the closed captions. Everybody that was listening or watching this turning on closed captions, because that subject is a very difficult subject to kind of wrap your head around for the average person. If you're not knee deep in cryptocurrency and blockchain, and part of the problem is, for every third person that tries to explain it to you, you get a different story. And eventually they're going to get their story straight, and you're going to see this massive explosion of people that trust in that and are going to be major fans, because he's right. One of the things that he said that really got me thinking, I remember when I was a kid, and I think I'm the oldest person in here, but maybe not. And I remember when I was a kid, to send
David
money.
looks good for 65.
Yeah, not too bad. I remember going with my mother. We lived in Texas. My mom's parents lived in California. And I remember going with my mother to Western Union to wire money to her parents. There was constantly a flow of money going back and forth. And I remember how expensive it was then to send that money. And now, owning MelodyClouds, going through Stripe, seeing the transactions, seeing the fees that I have to pay when that money gets transferred, it's nothing. And it's going to get even less. It does two things. Number one, it lowers the cost of exchange of money. And the reason that it does that is, number one, it's an ease of use. It's less less physical, activity going on, but it opens up the ability for so many more people to exchange that money that the costs are driven down even more. And so that's one thing that cryptocurrency has done in the last 5 to 10 years that people do not appreciate, they do not understand, and that's driving down the cost of the exchange of money between individuals and between individuals and companies.
That is really good to know. And yeah, I'm really happy that we were able to get Nandika, get a speaker, because it's great to see, their side of the universe, the e-commerce universe, and that truly is a side that there's a lot to unpack there. So Wayne, you were talking about getting another speaker, I think it was a few weeks ago. Any luck with the pipeline of speakers that people might?
We're just in a question of scheduling, right now. It's just a question of getting scheduled. Camille, you guys are familiar with Camille Blanc, is going to come in at some point.
Awesome.
and talk about a program that he created for kids, teaching kids about credit. That is a subject.
Nice.
I've written 6 books on credit. It is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. And since it's illegal or frowned upon to teach about credit in middle school and high school and in college, getting that extra education before you send your kid to school, away to college, is a very smart thing to do. You definitely want them to understand how credit cards and how credit works before they ever step foot on that college campus, because if they're anything like the 3 people I know in this room, you end up driving up a ton of credit card debt, and you look around and go, what the hell happened? What just happened to me, before you know it. And so that is somebody coming on. And then I'm also going to talk to Robert from Warrior Rising. And Warrior Rising, for all of the veterans that are out there that are listening to this podcast and enjoy this podcast, Warrior Rising is the answer to your prayer on helping you start an e-business, starting any kind of business.
Oh, that's amazing.
They really do a great job with education when it comes to basically the things that are, you and I and David talk about, helping educate people on how to start a business, whether it's an e-business, whether, no matter what kind of business it is, and they help with funding. So we're getting him to come in here and talk about that as well. But right now it's just a question of scheduling. We're growing so quickly. We're starting to get people that are reaching out to us.
For sure. And shout out to AJ for the note, and I'm looking forward to being on his podcast. Brandon or Drexel, for your words about Wayne. Don't worry, we're gonna have a call.
Everybody has haters, Dave. I mean, if you're big enough, you're gonna have haters. I just want to say to him, love you too. And
well, hold on. No, listen, and one more thing. What you're gonna see below as well, as by the time this the podcast is posted, we're launching Camille, the next gen assistant AI tutor, right? It's a micro credential through Witty. You can use promo code WITI15 and get 10% off. And then you'll get, and it's great. I mean, I sat through it. We may be raising the price.
Credentialing is really starting to explode. You're starting to see that across the board, where you can go in depth on a subject, learn about that particular subject. A lot of companies are really trying to push that on their employees, rather than going to these long, boring training sessions that you used to have to go through when you were in a corporate job. Now it's actual education. We are really intensively trying to educate you to do a better job, to learn more about certain things. And that's very exciting to me. I love seeing that.
Yep. Anytime that you can learn up, you earn up. So that's really good. All right. Well, I need to run, fellas. Have a 5:15. But this was great. Wayne, as always, thanks for being a great sport.
Well, we're going to do another part to this. I want to go over components of e-commerce, all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
This was a surprise. I want everybody to know this was a surprise that he was able to make it. I'm a very happy surprise. Thank you, Nandika, for doing that for us.
Yeah.
But we are going to finish this podcast in the very next one. So stay tuned.
That's right.